right. Well, my lighting is not as good as usual. Happy New Year! Oh my gosh, we are in a new year, a new decade. Just how crazy is this? We're in 2020. I mean, it feels like Y2K was 5 years ago. So maybe that's just my age talking. But anyway, I always love New Year's. I love fresh starts to a lot of things. I love the start of the school year, even though I'm not in school anymore. I love New Year's. So, this is just a really great time for reflection and thinking about what you want in the future. So, before I jump into what I am planning to talk about in this video, which is going to be about motivation and goal setting for your recovery for the new year. I just want to take a moment to reflect on everything that's happened in my business, Not Your Average Nutritionist, this past year, 2019, because it was a really big and kind of scary year for me. Oh my gosh, so much has happened. So I think the first thing, and what anyone who's followed me definitely knows about, is I published my book this year, Permission to Eat: Practical Guide to Working Yourself Out of an Eating Disorder During College While Celebrating the Awesomeness That Is You. So that published in June, and this has been, it was just such a cool process. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you can, learn more about my process of writing the book and all of that on my website and other videos. But I'm just super proud that this book came into being this year, and just all the wonderful feedback I've gotten from my readers. So if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, definitely check it out. There's an accompanying website that has all of the worksheets and handouts and resources that comes with the book. So you're going to learn so much if you get this. Anyway, that's my little spiel about the book. So other things that happened this year, this was the first year that I was in full-time private practice. So I've had my business, Not Your Average Nutritionist, for over 7 years now, which has been just so cool to have been my own boss that time. I've had other jobs along the way, but this is the first year that this was the only job that I had. And so I got to really focus on what I wanted to see come out of my business. I got to focus on the clients. I got to focus on what the future of the business is looking like, which leads into my next exciting thing. So starting this week, actually, I have my first true employee coming on, another dietitian. Her name is Brianna Pate. She is so wonderful. I can't wait for all of you to meet her. I'm gonna have to do a video with her coming up. She has tons of experience working in eating disorder recovery, and so she'll be seeing virtual clients through Not Your Average Nutritionist starting next week. Super excited. We're going to be doing our training on all the software and everything this week, but she is just a wealth of knowledge and a really kind soul. So if you want to work with either me or her, we're happy to work with you. Let's see. I think those are like the big things that happened in 2019 for me. So this coming year, again, I'm going to get to the motivation and goal setting stuff coming up if you're just logging on now. But I want to just, hit some points of what's coming up as well. So not only am I expanding to having another dietitian on the team, but I've got a lot of other little projects in the work and some collaborations. So the first thing I have coming up in the new year is at the end of January, I'm actually going to be out at Broadway Con. So for all my theater people out there, be in Manhattan at the end of January. And I'm going to have a booth that I'm sharing with some other really fantastic people. So the Broadway Body Positive Project, the founder is Stephanie Lexis, and she and I have been really collaborating on bringing body positivity and reducing body shaming in the theater world. So we're going to have a booth there together along with Erin Pack, who is a massage therapist who specializes in vocal health. So I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I'm very excited and I'm hoping I can get a massage. And so we're all there just promoting that, every body can be a Broadway body, or, a theater or acting, or, whatever kind of performance you do, you don't have to look a certain way. You just have to be able to deliver. So like if you're good and you fit the part, it doesn't matter if you're not a size 0, So I'm really excited about that. So we're going to have a booth out there. So if you're in Manhattan, if you're a theater person, I hope that you'll come out to Broadway Con and come stop by our booth booth 215. Come check us out. And I'll also be in Manhattan for a couple extra days. So if you're a dietitian or a therapist or a doctor out there, I'd love to meet up with you and just network, grab a cup of coffee or something. So yeah, please contact me. Other fun things I have coming up this year, I'm going to be collaborating with a personal chef, Roxanne. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, but I have an interview with her coming out on the channel very soon. She's a personal chef in San Luis Obispo, and we're going to collaborate on doing a mindful cooking class. So she's so wonderful. She has a very mindful practice around her cooking, and has owned her own restaurant and worked in a lot of different places. Now she goes to people's homes and cooks for them. So we're going to be bringing in primarily young adults, college students that don't know a lot about cooking, want to increase their skills, maybe don't know how to do more than boil water, and teaching them not only how to cook more than mac and cheese, but balanced meals, be really mindful about what how they're treating their body, and having that mindful practice of cooking and eating and being present with food. And I'm going to be there to really help hold space for people. And so if it is an eating disorder and it's a very triggering thing to be cooking with oil or something, like, we can talk through that and process it, and it's going to be a very safe space. So if you're in the San Luis area, please stay tuned for updates about that. Contact me if you're interested in being a part of this class. We're going to be doing probably a few of them throughout the year. And we're also talking about doing a farmers market tour, so you can really get to know the different farmers and vendors at our local farmers markets, and kind of what we're looking for when we're going through a farmers market and picking out produce that we want to make something with. So I think these are going to be so fun and something that's really needed, since I know that when I go to the farmer's market, I'm always so overwhelmed. Like, what do I get? What do I do with this produce? I usually just end up getting like one of the pre-made dinners. So I'm super excited to get to really know our local farmers. I think it's going to be super fun. And beyond that, I just have a bunch of speaking gigs lined up for this year, and I've got more coming. So definitely, follow me on social media at Dietitian Libby. Check out the website. You'll get to see all the speaking gigs and book signings I have coming up, and I hope I get to meet you all in person there. Okay, so now the reason that you're here and watching this video, let's talk about what your eating disorder recovery is going to look like this year. Now, whether or not it's you have an eating disorder, you're watching this, like, I think motivation and goal setting is something that everyone can really get something out of. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have an eating disorder and log off now. This is stuff that's going to apply, but I'm going to try to put it in the lens of eating disorder recovery, since that's most of my viewers. So my number one thing is, I don't want you to feel like you have to set a New Year's resolution or goal or goals, right? So many of us are perfectionists, especially if it's something that is tied into your eating disorder. And if it's something that's going to cause you more obsession and worry and all the things, like, you actually don't have to set a goal or a resolution. Like, what a concept. You could just say, I'm going to go with the flow and I'm going to just focus on me this year. And like, that could be it. So I do want to let you know that that's an option, especially if you're the super perfectionistic type. Maybe it's just, this is the year of surrender. And that can be really, really scary. So we're going to talk about ways to stay motivated through that, but I want to get through kind of some of the goal ideas first. So if that's not an option for you, or you need to have some goals in front of you to make progress, or you're not willing to give up on the perfectionistic side, I'm guilty of that, you can set more SMART goals instead of resolutions. I don't like the idea of resolutions. I think it makes it sound, I don't know, too finite or resolute. The idea of goals is something where if you can break down a goal into small steps, you're more likely to achieve it. And again, when we're thinking about eating disorder goals, I think the goals need to be very much in the mindset category. So we're not talking about gaining or losing weight. We're not talking about finishing your treatment and not seeing a therapist anymore. Like, I don't want those to be your kind of goals because number one, they might not happen. They might not be healthy goals for you, especially if the goal is weight loss. Let's can we just all make a goal this year to ditch diets in general, please? Like, diets don't work. I think we can prove that now. Um, they fail. People tend to regain the weight. It causes more mind issues, and self-loathing and lack of confidence. So if we can all just make a goal to not diet this year, I think that would be like a good goal, and that's all you really need to do. Anyway, that's my little soapbox. Um, so I do think that setting goals in recovery should really be around things that you can move towards. And this is where the motivation piece comes in. So I'm going to link below an article that I wrote with some of my clients about discovering your why for recovery. So, why do you want to recover? And this needs to be extremely personal. So that's why I'm going to link this article below because it has some examples of what clients of mine have written. Also, if you get the book, I have a whole section on this in one of the chapters. So super helpful in discovering what your why is and how that's going to help you move forward. But when we're looking at our why, it's not, I should get better so that I don't have a heart attack, and I should work on recovery because my mom wants me to, and blah blah blah. Like, it needs to be something that's actually motivating to you. So I've had some, really moving why statements from clients, such as, I want to recover so that I can, chase after my kids. I want to recover so that I can have a career in nursing and be able to help people without falling on the floor myself. I want to get better so that I can enjoy cooking with my family. I want to get better so that when I go traveling, I can experience the different cuisines of the different cultures without freaking out about it, and be grateful to my hosts for making the food. So there's so many different ways that can be very personal about why you want to recover and what that's going to look like for you. What is it going to allow for you in the future? Rather than thinking of the negatives, like, I can't even think of one right now, but I want you to think of, like, what are you going to gain from recovery? What are you going to get back in your life, or what is it going to allow you to do in the future if you are able to fully disengage from your eating disorder? Are you going to be able to have close relationships? An eating disorder is a full-time relationship, and it makes it very hard to get close to other people. So if we get rid of Ed, like, you're going to be able to have legit relationships with people. You're going to be able to focus on your career or school and actually, whether or not enjoy it is the right word, but you're going to be able to be in the moment. You're going to learn more. You're going to be focused. You're not going to struggle so much to get things done. You're going to be far more productive, and you're going to be able to do really great things. The world needs you. It needs your special gifts and talents. And if you're stuck in this, weird mind place, like, it's going to be very hard to share those gifts and talents with the world. So again, like, ditching the eating disorder, you're going to go and do amazing things. Um, you're going to have that health and quality of life. You're not going to worry about going to a restaurant. You're not going to worry about traveling to another country and getting to experience that country because they don't have, your specific brand of bread. These are just really wonderful things that you can have in your life if your eating disorder is not there anymore. So again, really think about specific whys. What is your life going to look like in the future? And what do you get to look forward to? And all these things might not happen this year, but you've got to take that first step. the longer you stay stuck, the harder it's going to be to dig yourself out. So take that first step. Think about, why do you want to recover? Write it down, read it often, and keep moving forward with that. Okay, so some other ideas for goal setting. So here's something that I have done every year for, minimum 10 years now, if not longer. I think I started doing this in high school. Um, and it's writing out my big goals for the year. And I try to make them very achievable goals and writing them on a very pretty piece of paper. If you don't like handwriting, you could like type it up and make it just, use nice fonts and colors and things. But I have like special paper and I write it out. I used to do calligraphy, but that I don't remember how to do it anymore. So now I just use Sharpies. And I bullet out my main goals for the year and I tape it up on a wall where I'm going to see it every day. So mine is actually just on the wall over here. And that way I get to look at my goals every day that I come in that room anyway. And it helps me stay focused. Even if I'm not actively thinking like I should work on this goal, it's keeping it front of mind so that I want to keep taking action on it. And I can continuously check in throughout the year of, am I making progress on these goals? So for me, those goals used to look, like getting a certain GPA in school or something like that. Now, it might be crushing an income goal. Like one of mine right now is getting a lead role in a musical this year. So having goals like that, and that's, some of it's out of my hands. Like I don't cast myself in things. So, maybe I won't get a lead in a musical, but I'm going to be putting in that effort. I'm going to be going to auditions. I'm going to be continuously taking voice and dance lessons. I'm going to be working on the things that are going to help me get towards that goal. And the only way that, I can meet that goal is if I'm actually taking action on it. So if I don't go to an audition, of course I'm never going to meet that goal. So things like that. It's keeping in front of you the things you want to work on. So I highly recommend that. And it can be whatever kind of goals you want, and just put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. If you don't have a room that you're in all the time, it could be a note you have on your phone or a little card you keep in your wallet or something like that too. Especially if they're very personal and you don't want someone else to see them. So just some ideas there. My little list of things to talk about. So I think I want to end with keeping your environment around you really motivating. So this is something I talk about with a lot of my clients in terms of making their environment work for them in terms of their food accessibility and choices and all that kind of stuff, like setting up your space for success. But I think it works in terms of mindset as well. So the space that you're in, whether you're talking about your physical room or home, or the town you're in, the people that you're around, the types of activities you go to, anything that becomes kind of a constant in your life. So if you're in a club at school, or you have a certain friend group that you meet up with regularly, like the people and environments that you spend a lot of time in need to be things that are encouraging you to be your best self. So, especially when we're looking at recovery, you want to be in environments and around people that are going to build you up, not make you feel more self-conscious or low self-esteem. You want people that are not going to, you know, promote your eating disorder. So, if you're around a lot of other people who are dieting or talking about losing weight, or, having their own eating disorder habits that really fuel yours, that's not going to be a good environment to motivate you to continue getting better, right? So, that could be spending less time around those people. It could be really focusing on the other parts of your life and making sure that's a very solid motivational environment for you. So, this could be the time of year to evaluate your relationships, your activities, your space. If your bedroom or kitchen or whatever is super promoting of your eating disorder, like you have all of your special foods in the kitchen and a scale in the bathroom and, all your pro eating disorder quotes around your room or whatever. Those are things that would be a really good thing to ditch right now. Like if you have a scale, please go throw it in the garbage, smash it, do something, get it out of the house. Now, like as soon as this video is over, I want you to go, if you have a scale, go get rid of it. I promise it'll make your life better. It will be scary at first, but it'll make your life better. Same thing goes for if you feel you constantly need to measure or weigh out your food. What if you made that harder to do? What if you put your food scale away where it would be really hard to get to? What if you started being really mindful about not measuring out your cereal and trying to eyeball it, or reverse measuring, which is when you pour out the food that you think you're going to eat, and then you can try reverse measuring it into the measuring cups to make sure you're getting enough. That's something that's really helpful when people tend to underportion things. And then in terms of just like other motivational things in your environment, surround yourself with things that make you feel good and uplift you. So something that I loved doing, especially in college, was like taking Post-it notes and writing motivational quotes on them and sticking them in places where I would see them all the time. So bathroom mirror, around my desk, in my planner. Like I would just have these quotes around that were things that uplifted me, made me feel like I could take on the world. So just stuff like that. Like it can be super simple. Again, it doesn't have to be things that other people necessarily see if that's, embarrassing to you, which I don't think it needs to be. I think everyone kind of loves quotes in this day and age. It could be curating your Pinterest boards, get rid of anything that's pro eating disorder and start putting together boards of motivational quotes that are pro recovery. And going through your social media and unfollowing things that make you feel bad about yourself. Unfollow all of those like celebrities, like, well, here's what I ate in a day and that kind of thing, because you don't need to be comparing yourself. You are a unique person. You're going to have your own needs. You're going to have your own favorite foods and foods you dislike. And we need to stop getting away from all of this airbrushed highlight reel stuff. So that's really what I wanted to cover today in terms of motivation and goal setting for 2020. And I also just wanted to say about this channel, for me, 2020 is going to be a lot more, I think, real and raw. Like I've got a lot going on in my life. These videos, as I alluded to at the beginning of season 2, they're not going to be quite as polished as season 1, just because I have a lot going on in my personal life. I have a kid now, and the idea of trying to set up my space and like get it all perfect, which I'm learning to let go of, it's just not happening. So there's going to be more live videos. There's going to be more flubs. But I want you to know that the heart is here. I'm doing my research for you guys. I'm putting out things that I think are really important. And even if it's not as beautiful as it could be, the messaging is still going to be consistent. I hope you're coming here for the content. I'm also planning to take the month of January off of posting YouTube videos, since I'm going to be getting my new dietitian onboarded and getting all that set up, and going to be gone out of town for a little while. So please stay subscribed. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button. Click that little bell so you know when the new videos are coming out. That'll notify you when I'm back and posting videos again. I do have some videos I know are coming out, so this is not the end. I have that interview with personal chef Roxanne coming out soon, so you're definitely going to want to hear that. It's like a day in the life of a personal chef and her tips, and she's a really cool story, and she has her own battles with eating issues. So you're definitely going to want to stick around to hear that. So please hit subscribe. And I will see you all really soon. I'm excited for 2020 and all that's going to bring for me and for you. It's going to be a good year. We're going to make it so. All right. Please, again, follow me on social media. I'm posting body positive, pro recovery stuff. So it's going to be one of those that, hopefully is not going to be triggering to you. go unfollow anything that makes you feel bad, and have a beautiful year. Bye.